Welcome back to the show, guys. Gideon here. I thank the good Lord above. I thank the good Lord above that it took me a while in my life to get to a point where I actually understand what it is that I'm doing, even with the platform that I have. And the reason why I say this is because just looking around, in recent times, right? Looking around, let's say on YouTube, on social media, and just looking at how people react to things and how people are, I have discovered that most people don't actually love the truth in its entirety. They love some of the truth, and they tend to love what parts of the truth fits them. You know, and you find that you may say something completely that doesn't really involve you picking a side on an issue, but it's just the truth about the issue. And even that can be upsetting to people because if you're not totally aligning with what they wish you to align with or what they align with, they get upset. And they cannot just look at things objectively and with balance and say, okay, well, yes, that's correct, that's correct. Maybe that's not correct, that's incorrect. But it has to be my side, my way or the highway. And I think it's very unfortunate, but I look at the internet just like that. I look at, for instance, among the political aisle. Like if you go in liberal circles, there are different types of Democrats or whatever. And let's say the people that like, let's say a figure like Bill Maher, for instance, no matter what he says, everything he says is right. And if you go to, let's say, someone like Cenk, no matter what he says, everything he says is right. And if you're on the right as well, if you go to someone like Tucker, if you look at the comments, everything Tucker says is right. If you go to the flip side of someone like Tucker, or let's say someone like Officer Tatum, everything he says is right. And so this guy is a bad guy because this guy doesn't like this guy, and this other guy is also the bad guy because the guy you like doesn't like him. So it's just sections and fragments, and my team and against the other team, and people refusing to be mature and just look at things objectively. So this person is a demon and this person is evil because they don't agree with me, or they don't see the way I see it. And the other side probably thinking maybe, oh yeah, this person is also evil as well. And I mean, I used to kind of be. This is why I thank the Lord that sometimes you need patience before you get to a point where you can actually even comment on things, because I could have anybody could easily fall into that trap. It's so easy to do it, and then you exist and you live in your own bubble. So you only listen to things that fit what you want to hear, and you follow that, and you keep on going with that. And you may never really understand why that is not a good thing until you see the chaos in the world for really what it is. Recent times, man, I something just changed in me, man, especially after Charlie got murdered. Something just changed in me where at first I was so upset and I was angry. And then I thought, it's like, I can't explain it, but it just has to be the light of God, because in some moments of my life, it just became so clear and apparent to me that this anger, or maybe even this desire for vengeance of some sort, what is it going to lead to? Where does it end? I genuinely believe that it's better to die fighting on your feet than to live your life as a slave. I really do believe that. But I just look at the situation, and I look at even the people who say very gruesome, nasty, evil things, or maybe celebrate another person's death. And I look at all that and I think to myself, but these people are really lost and hopeless too. It's not like we presume that everybody should know better in life, but obviously that's not the case, right? Because if everybody knew better, they would do better. But that's not the case. And I think it's our responsibility as much as we can to try and, to be a light and to be salt in the earth. But obviously not everybody's going to listen to what you have to say or take it. But I really want to have the heart of Jesus, in the sense where you look at your enemies and you really want them to see the light, because you can tell that a lot of these people are just lost. They have no hope. They feel hopeless, and they try to identify with something to give their lives meaning. And it's very sad if you really think about it, And I'm trying more and more. I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of the other side. One of the reasons why this is because even when Charlie passed, and I posted a tribute to Charlie, a guy that I've known for years. I said this in a previous video. A friend of mine, he unfollowed me, and I just, like, when God just gives you that gut instinct that a person did something, And I was feeling it for days, and I just checked and I saw. And naturally, my instinct would be, let me not say naturally, because what is my nature but what Christ wants it to be? I would say that in the past, I would just ignore, because I also learned to get to a point in my life where if I can't, I know situations that I can't control. And if I can't control a situation, I don't even try to. So whatever you're feeling, even if you feel some type of way about me, if you don't tell me, I'm not going to try and be a mind reader. I'll just leave you and let you do your thing. That's the point I got to in my life. So, but I looked at this thing and I felt that God would have me reach out to the young man. And I did. And we talked about the issues, and I'm not going to talk about what we talked about. I have already talked about that in a separate video. But we ended up talking, and the thing is that I see now that works in mysterious ways, and God saved that friendship by not allowing me to be egotistical or to take offense to the fact that he unfollowed, by him taking offense to something, and then me taking offense to what he took offense to, in reaction to what he took offense to and his reaction and whatnot, the cycle. And I realized that it doesn't matter. I mean, what do our emotions matter so much as what is true and the spirit of love that we can actually put out there? And I'm not saying it in a corny sense. I really mean it genuinely, because in that scenario, I realized that it's not important so much like, oh, you did this, so I'm going to do that. It's just do whatever God will have you do that could produce good fruit or good results, and actually be beneficial to us all. So that's why ever since then, I mean, with people I don't agree with or people that don't agree with me, I don't hate you. I really would, at the very least, I would like to discuss with you, and not debate in the traditional sense of what debate has become, because debating really is to delve into different ideas or opposing ideas in search of the truth. But today it's become more of defending yourself and your position, more so than actually seeking out the truth. I say this now to people, and I mean it sincerely. If someone tells me something that opposes something I say or believe, and I can see that what the person is saying is true, in that very moment, I want to be willing to accept it, and I want and have the humility and to tell you, you're right. Why should that be so difficult? I would rather know the truth than try and defend a position that is untrue. But the problem is that lots of the time, if you want to be the top dog or hot shot, that's difficult for you to do, because you're somehow your ego is attached to things, to matters that it shouldn't be. The only thing that matters is the truth. It shouldn't matter what you said and what you are trying to prove is true. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Accept it. You move a lot further in life if you're able to do that quick than to spend so much of your life trying to defend a position that you don't even believe in. It's a waste of time. So that being said, like I like to encourage, I may speak about many different things on here, sports, politics, whatever, but ultimately it's always about the truth. And that's really my main message here. And the truth is Jesus Christ. And I cannot convince a human being of that. I think you have to knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. And keep knocking. And the Lord will open up to you, and then you will understand. And when you see that light, you can never be the same again. So cheers. If you like this content, leave a like, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. Jesus Christ is King. God bless.